By the way, little tip for you, like to learn to play one of these, you can play it like this, you can play it like this, but never attempt to play it like this. Hard on the nose. Anyway, the Southern Boys, we had the most wonderful, most popular song of the entire period. I bet you know, it goes like this. What is that song?
Dixie.
Thank God, I thought we had a bunch of Yankees here. I'm so glad. Yes, it is Dixie, or Dixie's Land, as it was known. And the South before the war was known as the land of Dixies. Would you like to know why?
Sure. Sure.
I'm glad you said that, otherwise there's a long pause in the performance. Well, some people think it had to do with Mr. Mason and Mr. Dixon, who drew some kind of a line somewhere south of here. Have you ever seen a line? You know, yes. I've never seen. I marched over this period. I've never seen a line. You know, it's just like the government to tell you there's a line when in a fool can see there is. Oh, I'm sorry. That's politics and our ladies. I'm sorry. We don't want to offend the tender sensibilities of the ladies with politics. Well, no, it had to do, in fact, it did not have to do with Mason, Mr. Mason, them fellas that I can't say. It had to do, in fact, with money. Most things do, now I think on. But nonetheless, anyway, you see, before the war, not only did the government issue money, but large and small banks issued their own money too. Now, the larger the bank, the more stable the currency. The more stable the currency, the more popular the currency. The largest bank in the South at the time was the Bank of New Orleans. Y'all know New Orleans, don't you? Mm-hmm. Right, that for the Yankees in the back was New Orleans, New Orleans. That's yeah. I had to clear. Try saying that, New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Now keep that in mind. And when Bobby Lee's army comes up through here, and you just say, they come back, you just say, I'm from New Orleans, and they'll leave you alone. Anyway, so the largest bank in the South. Good day, son. You're going to love this song, I know it, if I ever get to it, and I may not. But nonetheless, anyway, the largest bank in the South. How are you? Good to see you.
Can you play horse crap on my shoes? Horse crap on my shoes.
So there are ladies present here. Back at the campfire tonight. Anyway, now. All right. Nonetheless, anyway, there's one in every crowd, and he's the one. And you know, I think it's him in every crowd. Nonetheless, well, now, where was I? Oh yes, we were talking about Dixie. Now, the largest bank in the South, as I said, was the Bank of New Orleans. Now, New Orleans being a French city. Well, first of all, let me say this. I got to say this. The largest, the largest bill in circulation, well, not the largest, the bill in greatest circulation at the time around the South was the $10 bill from the Bank of New Orleans. Now, New Orleans being a French city, the French word for 10 was printed right there on the bill. Now, y'all know the French word for 10. What they teach you up in these Yankees?
It's like Dix.
It is D.
Dix.
D-I-X. And we're not going to let this fella have any comments on that at all. He's going to leave that one alone. Now, many like the longshoremen and the boatmen on the great Mississippi River boats, they couldn't really pronounce that French word, so they called they pronounced that word Dix, and they began calling those bills Dixies. And over the years, the area in which those bills proliferated, the South, became known as the land of Dix. Now that brings us to 1859, and an Ohio boy, a Yankee for God's sake, named Daniel Decatur Emmett. And now he had run away from home as a boy, served as an army fifer and as a circus musician, and he was one of the originators of the minstrel shows. And the minstrel shows were the most popular form of theatrical entertainment at the time, where fellas painted their faces in blackface and sang songs in the styles of the African street musicians that they had heard on the streets of the great cities of the South, you see? And it was a very popular form of entertainment. So popular that every theater, even in New York City, that's right, New York City, was doing minstrel shows. And so now Daniel Decatur Emmett, 1859, was 44 years old, and he was living in New York City. And he was a popular songwriter. He had written several popular tunes, like Old Dan Tucker and the Blue Tail Fly. That's two different songs, Old Dan Tucker and the Blue. you could have a song called Old Dan Tucker and the Blue Tail.
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
song, Old Dan Tucker and the Blue, but it's not the way. Never mind. Anyway, so, well, he was approached by some fellas from a group called Brian's Minstrel, and he was asked them to perform, if he would compose for them a snappy new walk-around song. Now, the walk-around song was the final climactic song of every minstrel show. It had to be a grabber, a zinger, one to get the people excited and cheering, you see. So, he later said this. I tried to think, he's from Ohio, spoke like this. I tried to think up something special, but my thinking apparatus was dormant. So I went to a trunk full of scraps and papers of songs I'd been working on and pulled out Dixie, and had it not been for that hurry-up request, the song might never have come out. He also later said, if I'd known it was going to be so popular, I wrote it better. Well, they played it the Monday night, September 29th, 1859. And it was a smash, and the people loved it, and they cheered, and they asked for encore after encore, and they came back night after night paying good money just to hear Dixie. Within months, it had been published, and by the next year, it had spread, and he had played all across the country, from the Goldfields, California, to the riverboats going up and down the Mississippi River, to the great theaters of Chicago, and Philadelphia, and New York, and Richmond, and all around the country. See what I'm trying to say? A song, and everybody loved the song. A song so popular that when it came time for the inauguration of Jefferson Davis as President of the United States,
Hoorah.
in February of 1862, I believe it was only natural the song was chosen to be performed at his inauguration. Not only was it the most popular song in the South, but the boys was already beginning to live and die for Dixie. A song so popular that I do believe that every man, woman, and child that ever rhymed 2 words. You know rhyme, don't you?
Yeah.
Dove and dove, they rhyme.
Yeah.
All right, good. I do believe that every man, woman, child ever rhymed 2 words wrote a version of Dixie. There are literally hundreds of versions of Dixie. Would you like to hear them all?
Sure.
It'll take us about 3 weeks.
I'm here. I don't mind.
All right. I have the time. Well, I'll tell you what, for those of you in a hurry, we'll give you a medley of like 75 or 80. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I know you've been waiting for this for a long time, and I'm finally here. This is the instrumental part. You can tell because I'm not singing nothing. From the original minstrel version by Daniel Decatur Emmett. Well, I wish I was in the land of cotton. Old times there are not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. In Dixieland where I was born early on one frosty morning. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. And I wish I was in Dixie, away, away. In Dixieland I'll take my stand to live and die in Dixie, away, away. Way down south in Dixie. There's buckwheat cakes and Indian butter. Make you fat and a little fatter. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Then hold wit down and scratch your gravel. To Dixieland I'm bound to travel. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. And I wish I was in Dixie, away, away. In Dixieland I'll take a stand to live and die in Dixie, away, away. Way down south in Dixie.